June 2020 Planetary Transits for Aquarius and Aquarius Rising. This is an equal house chart set up for 0 degrees Aquarius on the Ascendant, Eastern Daylight Time, New York. We begin June 1st, 2020, with 2 retrograde planets in Capricorn in the 12th house sector. Jupiter at 26 degrees conjunct Pluto at 24 degrees of Capricorn. The Sun is placed in the 5th house at 11 degrees of Gemini, with the planet Venus at 15 degrees of Gemini, retrograde. The planet Mercury is at 4 degrees of Cancer in the 6th house. In the 1st house, we have the planet Saturn at 1 degree of Aquarius, retrograde. Mars is moving through the 2nd house at 12 degrees of Pisces, with Neptune at 20 degrees Pisces. The Moon is in Libra at 8 degrees in the 9th house sector, and Uranus is in the 4th house at 8 degrees of Taurus. Overview. June of 2020 brings 3 major events. The second hit at exactitude of the magnificent Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, an annular solar eclipse, and the entrance of Mars in Aries for a 6-month-long transit. Let's look at each one and determine the life areas that will be impacted. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction will make its second hit at exactitude in your 12th house sector at 24 degrees Capricorn, 6 minutes retrograde. Planets in retrograde motion bring a review and readjustment in the 12th house of the unconscious, repressed emotions, hospitals, institutions, and secrets. Expect these life areas to be reviewed and redetermined. Additionally, due to the positive, expansive nature of this conjunction, whatever you require to move forward will be available. This conjunction is characterized by lucky, fated events, but there are pitfalls ahead over the next 6 months due to Mars in high tension. Please refer to my videos on the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction 2020 for Aquarius and Aquarius Rising, uploaded in December 2019, as well as my video on the 6-month transit of Mars in Aries for Aquarius and Aquarius Rising. The second and third events of importance occurring in June 2020 is the annular solar eclipse of June 21st at 0 degrees Cancer 21 minutes, happening in your 6th house of work and health concerns, which is activated by Mars entering Aries on June 27th. On June 27th, 28th, and 29th, as Mars ignites the eclipse point in your 6th house, there could be a crisis or just intense activity and change in these life areas. Eclipse activations bring emphasis and focus to the life area it impacts. Of course, if you know your exact time of birth and have your astrological chart, you'll also have greater accuracy of interpretation. On June 2nd, Venus square Mars between houses 5 and 2 could stir up friction with loved ones concerning the amount of money being spent on non-essential items. Be diplomatic and strive for compromise. The planet Venus conjuncts the Sun on June 3rd in your 5th house, a very social and affectionate energy. Getting together with loved ones is favored, as well as having a good time. June 5th brings the full moon, 3:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 15 degrees of Sagittarius in opposition to the Sun at 15 degrees of Gemini, spanning houses 11 and 5, highlighting friendships and group endeavors, creative and recreational pursuits, love affairs, and loved ones. The planet Mars at 15 degrees of Pisces is making a high-tension square 90-degree aspect to this full moon. This is a highly frictional and impatient full moon. Be careful of what you say and how you say it at this time to avoid a major conflict with others. If you're on the road today, drive defensively, especially if you're irritated or frustrated. On June 6th, under Sun square Mars between houses 5 and 2, Intense ego conflicts with others could erupt. This is an aspect of high energy and aggression, with a tendency to force circumstances with others who will then try to stop you because they feel threatened. Conversely, you may have to contend with someone overstepping your boundaries. Instead of ego conflicts, use this energy to get some exercise, hiking, walking, or playing ball. On June 11th, Sun square Neptune between houses 5 and 2 is an aspect of deception resulting in confusion. The information you receive on the mental plane may be at odds with what your gut feelings are telling you about a situation. On another level, do not permit any news you receive to activate your inherent fears. Your imagination may be in overdrive. June 13th brings Mars conjunct Neptune in the second house, an energy of secret affairs and behind-the-scenes activities. Deceptive actions, however, are not likely to succeed at this time. On another level, the desire to escape the mundane may be strong. Do so in creative ways instead of indulgence in drugs or alcohol. On June 18th, the planet Mercury turns retrograde at 14 degrees of Cancer in the sixth house sector. Also on June 18th, Mars sextile Pluto between houses 2 and 12 is a positive vibration under which to communicate about finances and create a new budget plan. The Sun enters Cancer on June 20th, ushering in the summer solstice and moving into your sixth house. Under Mars sextile Jupiter, also on June 20th, between houses 2 and 12, ask for help or favors if you need it. Others will be more receptive at this time. June 21st brings the new moon, 2:42 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 0 degrees of Cancer, 21 minutes in the sixth house, highlighting health, work, the job environment, and relationships with coworkers over the month ahead. Use this energy to make a fresh start with new ideas and reorganization in the workplace. Implement a new diet and health regimen. This new moon is an annular solar eclipse that will be activated by Mars on June 27th, 28th, 29th, emphasizing the concerns of this life area. The planet Neptune turns retrograde on June 23rd at 20 degrees of Pisces in the second house. Venus turns direct motion on June 25th at 5 degrees of Gemini in the fifth house sector. The planet Mars enters Aries on June 27th and moves into the third house. Mars sextile Saturn on June 28th between houses 3 and 1 favors communications, meetings, and agreements made with those in your day-to-day environment. Communication will be better than usual and progress made. June 30th brings the second hit at exactitude of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction at 24 degrees Capricorn, 6 minutes, retrograde in your 12th house sector. Also on June 30th, we have Mercury sextile Uranus between houses 6 and 4, and Mercury conjunct the Sun in the 6th house. Both aspects tell the story of intense mental activity and harmonious communication concerning relationships at home and at work, especially along the lines of reorganizing and restructuring both environments to fit current needs. An excellent time for discussing and creating long-range plans and finding innovative solutions.